History is not dead. It lives in us, shaping the world we see and the choices we make every single day. The victories we celebrate, the freedoms we enjoy, and even the struggles we continue to face. All of them are threads woven into a fabric that began long before us. And if we pull too hard or pretend those threads don't exist, the fabric unravels. Think about it. Every nation, every people, every family carries stories of sacrifice, of survival, of suffering, and of triumph. For those who lived through slavery, their stories are not distant echoes of a forgotten world. They are the foundation of the lives we live now. Their chains were not just iron. They were laws, systems, and beliefs designed to break the human spirit. Yet, against the weight of cruelty, there were voices that rose, hands that resisted, and hearts that refused to surrender. Why does this matter today? Because forgetting the past is the fastest way to repeat it. Because the courage of our ancestors is not just their legacy, it is our responsibility. The ground we stand on has been watered with tears and with blood, but also with hope. The hope that future generations would walk freer than those before them. That future is us. So when we speak the names of those who fought, when we remember their rebellion, their faith, their sacrifice, we do more than honor history. We remind ourselves that freedom is fragile, that justice is a struggle renewed in every age, and that the choices of the past are not gone. They live here, in the present, in our voices, in our actions, and in our determination to never bow to chains again. This is why the story of Nat Turner, and the countless others like him, still matters. It is not just about the past. It is about us, here, now, and the generations still to come. Opening, midnight to 0:45. History remembers kings and conquerors, but buried in the soil of America is the story of a man who fought not for power, but for freedom. His name was Nat Turner. To some, a rebel. To others, a prophet. But to all, a symbol of what happens when the human spirit refuses to live in chains. Introduction, 0:45 to 1:30. Born into slavery in Virginia in 1800, Nat Turner grew up in a world where his body was owned, but his mind and his faith could never be chained. He was intelligent, deeply religious, and believed he was chosen by God to lead his people out of bondage. While others saw only despair, Nat saw visions of liberation, signs in the sky, whispers in the wind, and scriptures that told him freedom was a divine right. The Calling, 1:30 to 2:30. For years, Nat Turner carried the weight of prophecy on his shoulders. He watched families torn apart, women violated, men beaten until their souls were broken. Every lash of the whip carved deeper into his conviction that God demanded action. And in 1831, he decided that the time for silence was over. The rebellion begins, 2:30 to 4 o'clock. On the night of August 21st, 1831, Nat Turner and a small band of followers began what would become the most famous slave rebellion in American history. Armed with little more than axes, knives, and sheer determination, they moved silently under the cover of night. House to house, plantation to plantation, they struck, not out of cruelty, but out of a desperate hunger for justice. Within 2 days, nearly 60 slaveholders and their families were killed. The rebellion shook Virginia to its core. The aftermath, 4 to 5:15, but freedom, for Nat Turner, was short-lived. State militias and armed mobs quickly rose to crush the uprising. In their rage, they slaughtered more than 100 enslaved people, many who had no part in the rebellion. The message was brutal and clear: slavery would be defended with blood. The capture, 5:15 to 6 o'clock. Nat Turner escaped into hiding, moving through the woods and swamps for nearly 2 months. But on October 30th, he was finally captured. Shackled and chained, he stood unbroken. Even in captivity, he spoke with calm conviction, telling his story in what became known as the Confessions of Nat Turner. The execution, 6 to 6:45, on November 11th, 1831, Nat Turner was executed by hanging. His body was destroyed, but his spirit could not be. His rebellion terrified slaveholders and inspired generations of the enslaved. Nat Turner's name became both feared and revered, proof that even the most oppressed could rise. Reflection: Nat Turner did not live to see freedom. But his story reminds us that liberty has always come at a price. He was not a perfect man, but he was a man who refused to bow. His rebellion forced America to look in the mirror and revealed the cracks in the foundation of slavery. Closing, 7:30 to 8 o'clock. Nat Turner's fight was not just about 1831. It was about every generation after him. It was about us. His courage is a reminder that freedom is never given. It is fought for again and again. We remember Nat Turner not only as a rebel, but as a symbol of resistance, hope, and the unbreakable human spirit. Reflection, 6:45 to 7:30. Nat Turner did not live to see freedom. But his story reminds us that liberty has always come at a price. He was not a perfect man, but he was a man who refused to bow. His rebellion forced America to look in the mirror and revealed the cracks in the foundation of slavery. Thumbs up, hit that like button if you're ready to journey through history. Speech balloon, drop a comment saying, I ride with Slat Tales in 2025 to lock in with the community. Bell, and make sure you subscribe to Slat Tales for weekly legendary breakdowns. No hype, no shortcuts, just real tales that shaped the world.